And now we're joined on the show by Melissa. Hello, Melissa.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Pretty all right.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm very excited by what I can only describe as a combination of cute and amazing. So tell us a bit about My Guild Leader is a Demon.
So My Guild Leader as a Demon is a visual novel, which is a story that's told in the narrative style of a video game that has a silly premise, but deeper themes. The premise is that a girl named Bethlehem accidentally summons a demon while she's playing video games, but it turns out that he just wants her to show him how to play them. Deeper themes are about growing up queer or neuroatypical and how we form these powerful support structures with each other over the internet that give us what the people physically around us often withhold. The human characters, the human kids who appear in the first episode, I made sure to show all three of them typing on their phones. I wouldn't have survived my teens without the internet, without these so-called strangers on the other side of the screen to pull me through those difficult times. And this is a story about that experience in a positive sense.
That sounds amazing. The characters, from what I've seen, are incredible. Where did you get your inspiration?
Thank you. I'm 28, almost 29, but I originally came up with the characters Bethlehem and Sammers, the human kid leads, when I was 16 years old. My original ideas at the time were surprisingly similar. Bethlehem was this happy, energetic little exorcist who lived in the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia, and she had this angel friend. I saw this post on Tumblr recently that was like, "Dear teens, that idea you have for a webcomic, you know, the one with the angels and the demons, it's not good." Well, don't worry, I replaced the angels with video games, and it's good now. So, it's probably relevant to mention that I was raised in an extremist religious environment. It was a matter of irrefutable doctrine to me when I was 16 that the world was literally 6,000 years old and that all scientists who disagreed with that were agents of Satan out to get me. At that point in my life, I thought gay people were bad, even though I myself am pansexual, and I never even heard the word transgender. But in retrospect, with Sammers, I was trying to write a transgender character all along. My sister is transgender, and things haven't really gone as great with our family as one would hope, which brings it back to the idea of finding the people who will support you when your family won't, when the people who have power over you in your daily life won't. So it's a pretty personal issue for me. The demon characters are very loosely based on real life historic demon summoning texts. The crests that are shown by their names in the story are pixel icon sized derivations from their associated seals for how to summon them. The two introduced in the first episode are guys, he, him pronouns, like in the original text, but I've gender bent some of the others who will be introduced later. I tried to give them all really diverse body types. One of them's like 6 inches tall and has glittery wings because the idea of a bitter, surly demon who all the humans mistake for a fairy made me laugh, so in it went. Lorray is supposed to be obvious kink bait. Frankly, I won't deny that. And Eligor, well, I'm sure he's someone's idea of a handsome hunk, but he's ace. He's an asexual character. So we have like there's gay, bi, asexual characters. I definitely wanted to represent asexuality in this story because that's important in my real life.
So, what are your hopes for the story and the characters? Obviously, there's a lot to explore there.
So the subtitle on the mid-episode title screen, it says a story about us in rainbow letters. Maybe not everyone will get the implication, but I think most of quote unquote us will. I'm almost 30 now. I'm through the really dangerous part of life for queer kids. I still struggle actually, but that's mostly because I've been very sick now for almost 2 years. But I feel like now more than any other time since the moment I realized I wasn't straight, queer kids need positive portrayals. They need main character portrayals. Stories matter. Stories keep people going. And that's what's given me the strength to make all the art and music and all that necessary for this while I'm so sick. A story that's kind of silly, admittedly, but I think is exactly what we need right now.
Absolutely. And so, this is episode 1. What comes next?
So episode 1 introduces about half the cast on screen and sets up the conceit. Okay, these kids are going to hang out with these demons and play video games with them. It dangles 3 or 4 different plot threads to yank on later and find out what's up with that. Episode 2 will bring us gay interspecies flirting, but also the kids are going to log online into their MMO and meet Lorraine's human friends. I mentioned that this story touches on neuroatypicality as well as queerness, and frankly, it talks about mental illness. There's too much overlap in this culture that we have to try to ignore that. I don't see how many episodes there will be, but several at least. The good news is that each successive one will require noticeably less work to put together than the first, because I don't have to create every single art and music resource from scratch again.
That's amazing, and it sounds just absolutely wonderful to have all of these themes and threads put together. So how can people get their hands on this amazing epic adventure?
Since it's a linear visual novel, that is, there aren't any interactive parts, I've put a video of the whole first episode on YouTube. It's 43 minutes long, so you can search for that. My handle, by the way, on everything, YouTube, Twitter, etc., is the hexadecimal number, a bad idea. You can also download the actual game engine executables. I have it for Windows, Linux, Macintosh, for either if you want maximum visual and audio quality, or if you want to read at your own pace. It's on the indie game website distributor itch.io, 0xabad1dea.itch.io/ and then the initialism for my guild leader is a demon 1. But I recommend just searching for it because you're not going to remember that. But make sure to get the full version, because I did post a incomplete demo of it for my friend Evie's Game Jam.
That sounds amazing, and thank you so much for talking to us about My Guild Leader is a Demon. I can't wait to see, I think, what's going to come next.
Thank you very much.
And we will, of course, share a link to download it from itch.io in the show notes and on Twitter.
Thank you.
Before you go, Melissa, it's been absolutely lovely to speak to you, but we ask all of our guests to pick a song that we can play after their interview. So what would you like us to play for you?
I want to hear the Yuri on Ice anime opening, because the lines "will make it happen, will turn it around, we were born to make history" has been keeping me going recently.
Excellent choice. Well, here it is.